Outstanding conversation. Neil moderated beautifully. I mean, it's such a, I won't say moderation, it was a great conversation. So very nicely done. Mr. Sharma, Manoj, Anuj, very insightful. I really enjoyed every moment of the conversation today. And as I said in the beginning of my spill, that CEO Lounge is just not about knowledge. It is also about knowing the leaders on the other side. And all of you have huge fan followers who want to become like you and also want to know what's happening in your life otherwise, you know. And probably we'll spend about 5 minutes in knowing and understanding that. And maybe I could start with Mr. Sharma because he's been quiet for a while. And, you know, my first thought process, I mean, 2 decades building up a great real estate world, you actually enhancing the lives of people. You know, you want to make sure that they live in the most beautiful place, most comfortable place. What are those 3 things that you personally feel are really needed in terms of the comfort and experience while you're choosing a home, sir?
See, it's a good point, Deepak. Basically, what we believe, right, as an organization, the design part, correct, both of the business as well as of the product, it does play a very important role. Until unless you do not get some kind of a hold and understand and appreciate the importance of the design aspect of your business and the design aspect of your product, you will not be able to come up to the level where you have come up. So I think every organization today must have a point of view from the design perspective, sort of a thing, right? The number 2, according to me, should be the basic integrity. We operate in an environment where the trust factor is very low. Why RERA today? Right, primarily because somewhere we had failed our customers after having taken the money and not delivered the products. So I think that the second part should be that you need to understand that there has to be a basic integrity in India while doing the business, and it applies across the board. And that's where, in my view, the power of the government has to play in a positive manner, not in a negative manner, not in a selective manner kind of a thing, but it will become another discussion at some point of a time, sort of a thing. Third most important thing we did talk about, from Manoj to taking money for the startups part, you need capital, quality capital you need, not the capital at a high cost or in the form of preferential equity sort of a thing. Because any business to be nurtured initially, it requires a reasonable quantum of capital to sustain itself and reach to that critical mass. So if you have a control over the design part, if you have got a hang over that intent, the integrity part, and if you also inject, in my view, a right kind of capital where you are not today dependent on that capital to take the decision. So the business decision need not be dependent on that capital kind of a thing. If we can address these 3 issues, India is going to be a huge, huge, huge market. And trust me, that is what I was telling in the beginning. We can always look at the past and can extrapolate all the negative things to say things will magnify. No. The view is that we are entering into an era where all these things have been addressed. Somewhere Neil was talking about on the IT point. Today, it is not only filing the return, it is not only a right scrutiny part, it is that a faceless interaction where the people are not afraid of filing their income tax and getting the money without being harassed. Passport was another example kind of a thing. And similarly, in our industry also, the way the BBMP has come out from August onwards to have everything online application, we are moving in the right direction. But we need to show little bit of urgency because world is moving far faster than us. And these kind of a pandemics must spur the authorities and us both together to see that we walk at a pace if we have to compete with China to become a global leader, both in consumption as well as in investment, and to take care of that employment issues for the 65% of our population who are below 35.
Excellent. So I think we got a great answer that if you have to buy your dream house, and these are the three things that's extremely important. So thank you, Mr. Sharma, for that. Manoj, I'm fascinated with the glow on your face. I think it's really infectious. And I really would like to know what is your exercise schedule that you really follow to make sure that this charm really comes up at this age as well.
Frankly, being in a lockdown situation, there is nothing much that you can do except work from home and being on the laptop for a long time. But I think it's just eating right, being positive, and always. I think if you look at issues and obstacles as to how to solve them and overcome them and move forward, right? I've always believed that it's very easy to say, oh, isme problem hai, usme problem hai. ठीक है. You are there because you are supposed to be the solver of the problem, right? If you are occupying such levels, such positions, whether as CEO of a company or in terms of, let's say, an association of the sector, you have to really do justice to the position that you occupy. And if you cannot contribute, then you should get out.
So being a
right?
calculator boy,
and probably at my age, just to add, probably at my age, we are trying to prove to ourselves that we are still worthwhile and we still need to go on.
Relevant.
you definitely are, sir. But being a Calcutta boy, is it football or is it
No,
cricket?
I'm not Calcutta boy.
Carrots?
I'm actually from Bombay. So our group is from Bombay. The company that I lead is actually sort of registered out of Calcutta.
Okay, I thought you live in Calcutta, sir. But is it football or is it cricket for you, sir?
No, cricket, mostly cricket. Not that much football.
Great. So Anuj, while you busy packing for Germany and thereafter to New York, what are the things that you're going to really be missing here in India? Let's.
I think the couple of things which definitely come to my mind is first is the passion that people have in India is extremely high, right? So the passion, you give them a task, right? They will do it with a complete passion. I don't think the same amount of passion exists in the Western world. Yeah, that's the one thing which I personally find is going to be a challenge. And I think, of course, on the personal side, I think who doesn't love the Indian food, right? That's something you don't find the same quality anywhere else. Yeah, so that I think these are the two things for sure which are gonna stay in my mind.
You're not going to be missing some cricket in Germany and New York?
That I think with all digital advancement, right? I mean, that's not something you will miss. You will have the access to the digital content anywhere in the world.
Good. Neil, I've read something which made me really proud about you, and that incident that happened on the Indigo flight, and a label of PwC which you're so very proud of. I think that's something which I would love to hear from you. I think we all would love to hear that, Neil. Very touching, and I think it would be a very appropriate closure to today's conversation. So maybe you can spend a couple of minutes in talking about that incident.
Okay, so you got some really old memories back. I think it's good 6-7 years back. So I think I need to step back a bit. So I've been for PwC about 88 is when I joined. So lots of years in PwC, 32, 33 years. And a typical lifestyle, at least 3 or 4 day trips every week. Take a flight in the morning, come back at night, and be ready for next morning to go somewhere else, and so on and so forth. And this was a early morning flight which I took. I was flying from Delhi to Hyderabad. I had some very important meetings at the other end of the government, and I kind of woke up early, got into the flight. About half an hour into the flight, started feeling very uneasy and kind of cutting the long story short, there, breathless and etc. And suddenly, the air hostess and a doctor on board, and I could hear the doctor say the pulse is really falling and this and that. So some scary moments. And then the captain decided we need to land in between unscheduled stop. The flight landed unscheduled in between in Nagpur and kind of offloaded me. Suddenly there were ambulances, this, that. But I think one thing which I suddenly realized that they were, so when I was being offloaded, I had my carry-on bag on top, and which had a PwC label on it. Maybe had the PwC tag on it. And then somebody whom I didn't know, a large organization, who saw that tag, and he tried to offload simultaneously as well, but obviously could not be done because he was not related. He didn't even probably know my name or whatever, but etc. So again, long story short, before the flight took back again, he called a few people, and obviously my phone was off by the time. I could not have switched on and whatever. And by the time I got to the hospital, my family knew, some other people knew. We do a lot of work in the government of Maharashtra and whatever it is as well. The district administration knew, and there was help in less than 30 minutes by the time I kind of came out of the ICU or whatever. And they suddenly realized, just because somebody saw a name tag, he connected, made a few calls, and somebody could identify. Otherwise, I landed in the middle of, in a way, I didn't know anybody there, and nobody knew, and I'm sure my family and everybody would have got very worried. So that's, I think, a very, very touchy thing. I think one thing which did change my life a bit after that. So didn't do any more that kind of a lifestyle and that many flights. So this lockdown is a big savior that way. You can do most of the meetings online now.
No, beautiful. I think we wish you a very hearty and a healthy life. But it's one of those moments in life which will remain with you forever. I mean, each time you hear about it, you think about it, just gives you goosebumps. I mean,
It did. And I didn't realize we'll talk about it, of course. And it reminded me back, and yeah, absolutely.
no,
Took me
beautiful.
back.
Gentlemen, a big thank you to everybody. I think it's been an outstanding conversation. So thank you very much for taking out time on a Saturday and making this happen. And Sharmaji, you can send the invoice to Anuj's place, and he will sign it off the villa for you. And and thanks to all the attendees. And I'm going to see everyone again on next Saturday with another new set of leaders on another very interesting topic on how to handle monies in these challenging times. And until then, take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Neil.
you.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Manoj. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.